Hello, good people out there. Thanks for joining in. My name is Damian Ali. I'm the CEO of CreditSmash.net, and I want to welcome you to my live first ever broadcast. So, this is a series of broadcasts that I'm going to bring to you, the people out there, the community, about home buying, home purchasing, and then also some other things when we talk about financial wealth management and building as well. So I hope that you guys are tuned in. Get your notepads, get your pens, all the good stuff. Drop some time on you tonight, and hope that you all are going to be very excited about what we have to bring. I have multiple guests that are coming on different nights, but tonight, let me tell you, I have two special guests on tonight that are going to wow you and tell you all about some great tips about purchasing a new home and then also on lending. All right. Two major things that you need to know before actually purchasing your first home. So without further ado, let me bring in Miss Ashley Withers.
Hey
She is
guys.
a broker from exprealty.com. And she is located right here in North Carolina, in Charlotte. So she's with us tonight. Hey, Ashley.
Hey guys.
All right. And also, I have Miss Katie Chapman. Miss Chapman is a mortgage loan originator from Atlantic Financial Services. All right. She is a loan officer. She can tell you everything when it comes to dealing with loans and the things that you need. So, without further ado, I'm very happy to have you guys here. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. All right. Well, listen, 2020 has been a very tumultuous year for a lot of folks out there with job loss and the economy and all these different fears and things that have happened. We want to end the end of the year on a good note. So why not give them some good information, right? And let's give the folks some tips and some encouragement to let them know that, hey, if you're renting right now, you don't have to stay renting. You can actually purchase a house in 2021. So
Absolutely.
we're going to give you some great information and some great tips. Hope that you all enjoy, and let's get right into it. So, I know me personally, when I initially had a house back from years ago, I made a bunch of mistakes in purchasing a house. I didn't know about contracts. I didn't know about down payments. I mean, I didn't even know about the realtor. I just kind of just threw a dart in the air and voila, there it was. I actually purchased an actual foreclosed home actually that was uh, foreclosed by the VA, I believe it was at the time. And great home, I thought. First house on the block. It was a really good home, I thought, at the time. This is way back in 2006. So obviously the market has changed since then. But listen, um, I know that the market has changed tremendously, which is why I brought you guys on, because you're going to bring us up to speed in 2021. What's the new tea? Drop it on us, Ashley.
All right. So, again, Damien, thank you for having me here tonight. I'm super excited to drop some gems and help you guys out. First of all, just to talk about the housing market first and foremost, it's a seller's market, right? The market's hot. So, if we're getting technical, it is a seller's market, meaning that inventory is lower than there are buyers. So, lots of buyers, low inventory, meaning that the sellers would have the upper hand because there's less sellers, more buyers. However, for the
Yeah.
first time since the 80s, interest rates have been super low. I mean, record breaking numbers this year due to the pandemic and other political things. So that gives buyers the opportunity to not only afford homes, but afford more homes. So bigger homes and just lots of it because it's
Right.
affordable. So that's why I tell people the market is what you want it to be. It's everybody's market right now.
Right.
Absolutely. So,
Mhm.
Katie, if you wanted to jump in on that really quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. So right now rates are at the absolute lowest they have been, and I can't even tell you how long. Honestly, they're quoting them at all-time lows if you want to know the truth. Um,
Okay.
we're expecting rates to stay very low in 2021. I'm not going to say that they're going to stay exactly where they are right now. They Obviously, it goes with the ebb and flow of the market each and every day, but
Okay.
we're expecting them to continue staying low. So it's absolutely a great time for folks to be buying a house. If
Nice.
you're not buying, then you need to be refinancing.
Okay.
I mean, honestly, it's that type of market right now.
Definitely.
Are we pause for a moment?
I'm still good on my end.
Okay, there we go. Sorry about that. Hey man, it's the first broadcast, so forgive us guys. A little bit of if you have Spectrum out there, oh my God. Anyway, you already know what the deal is, for real. Okay. So Katie, you kind of cut off just a little bit. Can you just wrap up what you were saying about the industry itself?
Yeah, absolutely. Like I was saying, rates are at an all-time low right now. We're expecting them to stay low throughout 2021. I'm not going to say they're going to stay at this all-time low because they do move with the ebb and flow of the market each and every day. They go along with those mortgage-backed securities. So it's just one of those things. They're going to move around, but we do expect them to stay tremendously low. We don't think they're going to get back up to where they were even at this time earlier this year. I mean, last year. So we don't expect them to go back up like that.
So even with the upcoming election and all that and all those changes, the rates are still going to probably hover around the same thing. Where are they at right now?
So it depends on the personalized situation. It depends on your credit score. It depends on the loan you're looking at. It depends on the area you're looking at. I mean, there's so much stuff that goes into it. But right now, depending on those different qualifications, we're seeing 30-year mortgages in the, let's say, 2.5s up to the 3s. We're seeing 15-year mortgages in the low 2s. So yeah, it's absolutely a wonderful time out there buying.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, that's awesome to hear. I know that a lot of folks are apprehensive a little bit because they don't know how the market really operates. I know a lot of times folks are possibly, a lot of folks think that they can't even own a home right now because rent is so high. They don't really know how to get qualified and things of that nature. So Ashley, tell me a little bit about the inventory in Charlotte.
Absolutely. So I work in not only Charlotte, but all of the surrounding suburbs of Charlotte, as well as South Carolina, so Rock Hill and Fort Mill mainly. Inventory, honestly, is okay. Every client that comes my way, once we go through the criteria
chime in here.
they're looking for, and I go and do my search, I'm able to find plenty of.
Ashley kind of broke out just a bit there. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. So I'm able to find plenty of homes for every client. So the inventory is there. There's not a surplus of inventory to make it a buyer's market, but there are homes out there. But again, because there is a because it is a seller's market right now. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. All these things keep popping up on the screen.
Yeah,
these
are people trying to get in.
Absolutely, because it is a seller's market right now, meaning that there's going to be lots of bidding wars. So when I do find a home that's super nice and fits my client's criteria, if it's at a good price, I mean, we have to put in an offer right away. And I let my clients know that going in, that we won't be taking 3 and 4 and 5 days to think about it. If you see something that you like, we have to put in an offer. That's because
putting that offer in immediately. Yeah, I know. I saw recently where my son actually he had purchased a house in Virginia, as a matter of fact, and I think he went through probably almost 5 different. He was with a realtor, but he went through 5 different contracts, didn't get none of them. And I don't know if the realtor was just, I think the realtor was putting them in as fast as they could, but they were just left and right, and he couldn't do it. And he's in the Air Force actually, so actually got a VA loan. And what wound up happening is he wound up going to another realtor, and then that realtor got him in on like the second contract that he put in. So you're absolutely right. I mean, speed is, and being ready and being prepared
Right.
automatically is really what's necessary. So Katie, can you tell me a little bit about being prepared when it comes to the credit side of things in terms of being a loan officer? What have you found in terms of folks, you know, either being prepared or not being prepared?
Yeah, absolutely. So, honestly, the biggest thing is getting pre-qualified. You want to do that right off the bat. And I'm sure Ashley will back me up with this. You want to know how much you can afford. Oftentimes, as far as the credit aspect goes, there are things that can pop up on your credit report that you have no idea is there. I mean, medical collections, they can be anything that pops up on your credit report, and you just have no idea that it's there until you actually go through that pre-qualification process and you find out what is being reported. So
Right.
that is absolutely the very first take, regardless of your situation. You want to see what's going on. You want to see where you need to go from there and how you need to get there. And the best way to do that, honestly, is by being pre-qualified.
Right.
Absolutely, absolutely. I can definitely attest to that being a tried and true situation, because coming from the credit side, a lot of folks go to a realtor first, or they go to a mortgage officer first to try to get a mortgage. Come to find out they can't get one, and then they have to come over to my end. And I'm looking at the credit. I'm like, whoa, man! Like, how are you even thinking that you're going to get approved here? You got like this going on. You got medical bills. You got student loans. Oh, which by the way, student loans, I'm told, is the biggest hindrance to buying a house. Am I correct?
That's
Yeah,
correct.
absolutely.
And why is that? Is that because of the loan itself, or is it the debt to income ratio? Like, what really gives that?
Yeah, it's usually the debt to income ratio, or folks just not really realizing that those loans have come out of deferment or forbearance or whatever they happen to be in at the moment. So they may be behind on those student loans and not even realize it. And just looking at my experience in the past, a government entity like Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, all of these other entities, they're not going to loan you money if you owe another part of the federal government money. So,
Gotcha. So that is a huge hindrance for sure.
absolutely.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
I've run into that several times with pretty much, I say 80% of my clients. We have to get around some sort of student loan hurdle.
Yeah, I would imagine that that is a huge thing that prevents a lot of folks from actually getting a house, quite frankly. I mean, always find it interesting. You have folks that will. I see a lot of folks that have $50,000 in student loans, $100,000 in student loans, and they actually have good credit, but they can't even get a house
Right.
because they owe $100,000 in student loans. And I believe, isn't it how it works that they take 1% of the actual student loan? Isn't that how it works?
It depends on the program. If you go with a more of a Freddie Mac program, I believe it is, they only take 0.5%. If you go with Fannie Mae, it's more of a 1% usually.
Ah, gotcha. Okay, cool. All right. Well, that makes sense. Definitely. All right. Well, listen. Okay, so hang on, guys. Kind of seeing some people coming into the actual uh cast itself, and I think they're on the wrong thing. It should be on Facebook. So let me just see here. Hang on a sec. Let's remove some of these windows here. We got way too many people in here. So, all right, there we go. I'm not sure why that is. So hang on one second. Just need to clear this up. Man, it's first time, man, doing it. So
Technology.
Trial and error, but we'll get it.
It's a learning.
yeah. Hey, this is why I did. This is why I did 4 nights of this.
Yeah. By
So
night 4, it's going to be a smooth, easy breezy process.
exactly. So yeah. So just bear with me here. I don't work for the TV station. I do credit. All right. So Yeah, let me see. These folks are actually in the, I think they were actually trying to log in to the stream is what they were trying to do. All right, so hang on a sec. I just want to make sure. It's live on there. Okay, so it looks like it clicked on, let's see. Don't go out to this schedule times. Right. Edit this, right? Okay. All right, so hang on a sec.
You good, Damien?
All right, hang on one sec.
Okay.
I think we were actually scheduled, and now it should click. So, says scheduled today. Okay, so it looks like we're airing on YouTube, actually. YouTube picked us up, but the Facebook, for some reason or another, didn't pick us up. So hang on.
Okay.
I'm not sure why that didn't happen. Let's see if I can edit it. 10 minutes. Okay. Well, this is the reason why I added an hour of time here.
There you go.
Okay. Edit. Okay. Scheduled. Okay. So, all right. What I'm probably going to have to do is go back and edit. Okay, so we got one person in there. All right. Okay. All right, guys, I'm sorry about that. Hang on one sec. I'm just kind of changing up the edits here. All right, so now, okay. Jesus, man. Okay, so yeah, it looks like people actually got into it and they're viewing from a different area. Okay. All right.
All right, we're back
All
in.
right.
Yeah, so we actually have 15 people in. We got 3 coming in now, but now they're coming in. Jesus. Sorry about that, guys. Oh my God.
Like you said, that's why there's 4 nights of it. So
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you guys for being patient. I really do.
Of course.
All right. No worries. Okay, so all right, so let's get some questions answered about when it comes to this loan buying process here. One of the things that I want to be able to answer is how do you know that you're financially ready to actually buy a house? I can come up with 3 reasons of why you're not. One, if you haven't saved up any down payment money, that is a very difficult thing to do because I know for a fact that you need what, at least 3.5%, sometimes 3%, 5%, in some cases, sometimes even more. And all of a sudden, if you're trying to just pull that money from somewhere, unless it's actually coming from a 401k or like a gift or something like that, they really will scrutinize where you're getting this money from all of a sudden. Am I right?
Yes.
oh
Katie,
yeah.
tell us about that a little bit.
Yeah. So
Payment money.
Go ahead.
yeah. Cash under the mattress is a no-go, folks.
Oh,
Yeah, you want to make sure that you have money saved up in a bank account somewhere. It's coming from some place that can be sourced.
Yes.
Huge thing that we're dealing with right now. Folks have cash saved up in their safe at home. They have all this different stuff. We can't source it. So if we can't source it, unfortunately, it goes against the Patriot Act. So we can't use that money.
and what do you mean by source? What does that mean?
So basically, we need a paper trail of where it came from. So if it's been sitting in your for a couple months, that's cool. We're good with that.
Okay, hang on. We're gonna chime back in. Kind of just bingo. There we go. Okay, sorry about that.
Okay. So yeah, it needs to be sitting in your bank account for a couple months. If it just randomly shows up in there one day, you're going to have to explain where you got that money from. Large deposits are always that way. You're going to have to explain where it came from. Multiple small deposits, we see people try to get by with that. If they're all at the same time, you're going to have to explain where that came from because they know that you're breaking up a large deposit.
Yeah.
So you're not complete idiots, but
Right.
so you're going to have to explain where it came from. If it comes from a 401k, that's great. You can definitely use that. I just advise you, speak with a tax preparer, make sure that you're not going and screwing yourself up later when it comes to your taxes. But anything else, absolutely. Yeah, you can do that. You can use gifts a lot of the time from family members. So there's a lot of different options, but yeah, absolutely. You need a down payment. You need to be prepared with it beforehand.
Beforehand, yeah. And will a letter suffice to show that the money's coming from this place or that place?
You said a letter? I'm sorry.
Yeah, letter. Yeah, will a letter or something describing exactly where the money's coming from, does that help or no?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you need some kind of paper trail showing where it came from. So
Yeah.
if it is a gift from, let's just say your mom decided to gift you 10 grand to put down on a house. That's great. But we're going to need, a gift letter showing how much she gave you. We're going to need to see a copy of the check, or we're going to need to see where it was directly transferred into your bank account through a wire or just a bank-to-bank transfer or whatever it happens to be.
Right.
Yeah, you're going to need to show the trail of where it came from, because if it just randomly appears in there, then that's going to cause an issue for you later on.
Very much so. Yeah. I can also, what do you think are one way or Ashley, what do you believe is one reason as to why people are not ready to buy a house? What do you think?
Yeah, that's a great question. And I'm glad you brought that up because, and I was telling you this before, Damien, 9 times out of 10 people who come my way are not ready. which is fine because that's what I'm here for. We come up with an action plan. I speak to the lenders that I work with. We review their situation, finances, things like that, and then
Right.
on an action plan so that they can be ready. And I'm there every step of the way. But
Gotcha.
a lot of what I see is that for sure the down payment. A lot of people come my way and they've heard all these stories from their family and friends and
All right, Ash. I think it's coming
cousins.
back in a
Like,
little
yeah,
bit
I can
transpiring. Bingo. There we go.
you hear
Okay,
me?
we hear you now. Yep.
Yeah, they'll say, oh, well, I know someone who got a great deal. They didn't have to put anything down, so I know there is some sort of program where I can get the same thing. And when it comes to a home purchase, as a reminder, this is probably the largest purchase any person is doing in their lifetime.
Yeah.
So that situation is different for every single person. No two situations are the same. So down payment is a big one. People not really having money saved up. And I tell my friends all the time, I think a few of them are here, have a savings account just for buying a house. Even if you don't have a plan to buy a house until 10 years from now, you should still go ahead and start just tucking what you can away because starting to save when you're ready to buy a house, when you make that decision,
Right.
is almost too late because 9 times out of 10 you probably won't have enough unless you
Yeah.
Yeah.
a whole
I
bunch of
could
money.
definitely attest to that. You
Right.
know, waiting at the last minute procrastination
Yes.
is a huge reason why people all of a sudden get to the table and they're not ready. Either they don't have enough money, they didn't have enough saved up, or they're surprised because those closing costs are a beast, right?
Mhm.
I can imagine, So, tell me a little bit about closing costs and how much a person. Can you break that down, Katie? Exactly what closing cost is and what it entails.
Yeah, absolutely. So, closing costs, there's a lot of stuff that goes into closing costs. Your biggest cost when it comes to those is going to be your attorney fees. When you're picturing what we call closing costs, there's two separate parts of it. There's your down payment that we've just been speaking about. Depending on the program, it's anywhere from 0% down to 30% down, depending on the type of home you're looking to buy,
Right.
where you're looking to buy, what your credit score is. All this different stuff comes into play.
Right.
Right.
So you really need to speak with someone, as we spoke about earlier, to get pre-qualified to see exactly how much you need to be prepared to bring to the table.
Right.
But then you go into the normal closing costs. So you're going to have your attorney fees. In Charlotte, I'm seeing them anywhere from about $1,000 to $1,400.
Right.
Depends on the attorney. You're going to have what's called your prepaids. So that's going to be your
Did we cut off a little bit?
Still good on our end.
yeah,
Okay.
still good.
Okay, there we go. Okay, sorry about
Okay.
that. Go ahead.
So you're going to have your escrow deposits. That's going to be your property taxes and your homeowner's insurance. Generally, you might have some HOA stuff in there. Just depends on what house you're looking for. But you're going to end up needing to put a certain amount down. Or if you are planning to waive escrows, that is a completely different thing. Waive escrows if you so choose. Sometimes it does come at a cost when it comes to the loan, depending on the lender. But if you choose to waive escrows, you need to personally set aside and think to yourself whether or not you are responsible enough to set aside that money each year to pay your property taxes and your homeowner's insurance. Because if you don't pay those, you can absolutely be foreclosed upon or have any other countless number of issues.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, so you can have countless number of issues. If you don't pay your property taxes, it can have all kinds of legal repercussions when it comes.
Repercussions later on. Yeah.
Absolutely. So you need to kind of judge for yourself whether or not you're responsible enough to set aside that money each year. I know with Ashley, y'all see a lot of the property taxes on these homes each and every day.
Yes.
So, I mean, from my standpoint, I work all over North Carolina and South Carolina as well. And we're seeing them anywhere from $1,000 to 4,500 plus on the area you're looking in. So it's it can get kind of expensive. So you need to be able to set that aside.
Right.
On the lender, as far as your other closing costs, you're going to have your miscellaneous things like your credit report fees and any kind of origination fees, anything along those lines. But that's honestly on a case-by-case basis.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, it's all good information for real. I think that's one of the key things in purchasing a home. It's a huge investment, and a lot of folks just don't know what it really entails. Everyone wants to just get the house, but then you want to be preemptively planning ahead. That's the one reason why I'm going to start, or why I started this Diamond Legacy program, which is 12 to 24 months. And in this program is to help prepare people for home ownership. A lot of companies out there like the NACAs of the world and all these other, banks and things of that nature, they started these programs to help people along the way. At Credit Smash, that's what we're doing as well. So I put together a robust type of system that will help you pair yourself with a realtor. And along the way, you're going to get an action plan. That action plan will give you the details of everything that we're discussing tonight. So on an automated basis, you'll get monthly reviews so you can know exactly where you're at in the process. I think a lot of times what people don't have is a plan. And having an action plan for anything that you want to accomplish in life is a necessity. I can tell you firsthand, one of my first wow moments in becoming a business owner was that I was able to acquire some capital in order to start my business, but I had no idea about marketing and the marketing behind gaining new clients, and just it's just overwhelming. I mean, if you didn't go to school for something like that, oh my God, it is a lot. And if you work for a company that does the marketing, there's a reason why they have a marketing department, because they got special skills that normal people don't have. And we're talking SEO, we're talking RSS lead management, CRM management, lead generation, organic. I mean, like, it starts to get really technical. So my first wow moment in the first 2 years of me being in business was exactly that. I didn't market. It was all organic. And not having a plan for that, I was a little bit behind the 8 ball at first. Now 2 years later into the business, I have that going, but not having a plan is a necessity on any goal here. Can you ladies tell me about your first wow moment? Ashley, what was your wow moment when you first got into the industry?
Absolutely. So I've been doing this full time for about 6 months now. I transitioned over the summer. I was in property management right before this, so still in real estate, just on a different side. And in the beginning, I was focusing on just my social media marketing, and that was pretty much it. And just being myself when I'm out in public and talking to people, and that turning into a deal later on or a referral later on. And that was pretty much what I was doing for the first, I'd say, 4 to 5 months. And it wasn't until the beginning of last month where I was listening to a podcast from this reputable agent that I admire and follow. And I realized I needed to get on the phones. I needed to go get my business, and not just wait for it to come to me, because this is real estate, and this is a business.
Yeah, guys, streaming on the internet is a little bit. There we go. Okay, you're back in. Yep.
So this is a business to business type of industry, and in order for me to be successful and help as many people as I want to help, I have to go get it. I have to get on the phones and do the things that most realtors aren't doing because they're afraid to cold call. I mean, they answer the phone and you don't want to sound like a salesperson. And so I had to master getting on the phones and not sounding like a salesperson, because what I'm doing is just offering my services to you. Not
Right.
if you need it, it's when you need it. Everybody at some point is going to move for one reason or the other. So
Yeah.
that's my wow moment, is realizing I needed to get on the phones and get tougher.
Interesting. Interesting. Katie, what about you? How long have you been a loan officer?
Yeah, absolutely. So I've been with Atlantic Financial since June of 2018, so a little over 2.5 years now. Before that, I've been in banking industry for a couple years prior to that. So I've and my mom's been doing this for years and years, so I've been surrounded by it my entire life, pretty much. Um,
Nice.
yeah, so it's been a really great opportunity. Um, I would say my first real wow moment was actually with my first clients when I moved to Atlantic. Um, they, they were not in the best of situation. They were paying some crazy high rent costs. And folks, with rent, the thing is, you are paying somebody's mortgage.
Mm-hmm.
You are paying somebody's mortgage, so it might as well be your own. So, yeah, so these folks were paying some crazy high mortgage.
Facts on that. Yeah.
They had some
So
issues in the past.
paying the rent on someone else's is definitely a thing that you want to get away from. I can tell you, it's not fun, for sure. But what happened with that client? I mean, what happened in terms of what happened there?
Yeah, so like I said, they had some pretty bad credit issues in the past. They'd gone through bankruptcies. They'd had all kinds of stuff going on in the past several years. And they had gone to lender to lender to lender. I mean, just all over the place trying to get pre-approved. And out of the gate, my first clients, we were able to go ahead and get them pre-approved. They were able to find a home and buy it. And I want to say they were saving like $500 a month from what they were paying in rent on their own home. So that was such a blessing to be able to see that and see
Mm-hmm.
and making someone's life if they actually have the right person in their corner.
Yeah, and let's talk about that for a moment. I know that unbeknownst to most folks, I actually got into being a loan officer way back in the 90s. This is probably before you guys got going, right? I'm not trying to date myself here, but back in the 90s when they had the whole subprime industry and whatnot, that whole ordeal, right? Yeah, I was back in those days working for some scrupulous companies and things of that nature. But long story short, having folks in your corner was like very hard to come from. I mean, I can tell you there were realtors and loan officers that are not as scrupulous and didn't really look out for folks and whatnot. That's the whole reason why I started this podcast or this live streaming, is to show people that we're transparent and we do have a good heart. We do want to help people, for those people that want to be helped, and there are folks out there. Listen, uh, every industry has its bad apples, okay? But you will find good people out there that can help you and that will be in your corner to help you and give you the instruction and the necessary things that you need in order to own that home. For those people that actually want help, we're here to give it to you. That's the whole reason why Credit Smash is presenting these folks here today, these experts, to let you guys know that help is on the way. 2021 is going to be a fantastic year. It's not going to be all bad. Okay, you need to pick yourself up and change the deal. All right, it's not going to be all bad. It will be better, but you have to put together a plan. So this is why we're dropping a T on you guys, and I hope that you guys are getting some value out of this conversation tonight. And ultimately, keep coming back. I'll have more conversations in the future. Matter of fact, we'll be on tomorrow again with another realtor from Texas and also another loan officer as well. So listen, we're not going anywhere. We're here to help you guys. Let's do some final questions here. Let's see. So let me look at the questions here. All right. So the first round of questions that came up was, Can you tell me three things no one tells you about buying with the FHA loan? Katie, what are some three things people don't know when they're actually opting to get an FHA loan?
Yeah, absolutely. So I would say the first thing is that,
Pros and cons, I guess. Yeah. Pros and cons, I guess.
yeah,
Yeah.
pros and cons. So FHA is a great loan process, program. Good gracious. It's a great loan program. It comes with a bad rep just because of, it typically goes with lower credit scores, but that does not make it a bad loan at all. So FHA has a lower down payment usually required.
FHAs.
Yep. So you're going to look at a 3.5% typically right off the bat, depending.
All right. Timed out for a second here. Hang on, guys. It'll kick back in. Bingo. All right.
Okay.
Sorry about that. Okay.
So FHA typically does have a lower down payment that's required for the majority of their folks. You're going to be looking usually at about a 3.5%, depending on your credit profile. Once again, it can go up as high as 10% for a minimum down payment, but you're going to be looking generally around the 3.5%. But once again, the loan officer to see what you qualify for specifically. So the con of FHA, in my personal opinion, is you do have to take into consideration what's called PMI or MIP, depending on what you're looking at. It's private mortgage insurance. So that comes and is tacked on to the loan amount and an upfront fee, and it's also tacked to your monthly payment, and it has to fit into your debt to income ratio.
Debt to income ratio, right?
Yep. Yep. So you have to
think about that. Wow. So that's interesting. So literally, that PMI can knock you out of having a mortgage.
It can. Yeah, absolutely.
If it's too high.
Yeah, if it's too high, it may not necessarily completely knock you out of having a mortgage, but it can knock you out of the price range that you're looking at. So you need to be pre-qualified up front to make sure that you know exactly what you're looking at.
Okay. All right. Nice, nice, nice. All right, some information I did not know. Okay. Okay, another question was asked. Can I buy a house with a bankruptcy that I filed years ago? And if not, how long do I have to wait?
Yeah, absolutely. We have people that can file 1 day out of bankruptcy during normal conditions. I'll put that little asterisk right there.
Right.
So during normal conditions, you can do it.
One eye open, huh?
You don't want to do it 1 day out of bankruptcy. I will be straight up front with you. It's possible during emergency situations, but if you can avoid it, go ahead and get you at least 2 years of seasoning on that bankruptcy once it's completely
gotcha.
Closed it out.
So you don't want to be 1 day out of bankruptcy, guys. At least 2 years out of bankruptcy, and then you can get back into the saddle a little bit. Because I'm pretty sure with 1 day out of bankruptcy, you're going to be paying a hell of a lot of interest.
Right.
Yes, absolutely.
Yep. Okay. All right. Awesome. 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 All right. Ashley.
What you got?
So when looking for a home, how do I choose the best deal? Is that something that the realtor does, or should I be doing it? Should I trust the realtor? Or should I go to Zillow?
Those are all great questions, especially if you don't know. If you don't know, you're like, what do I do? So as far as how to find the best deal, I mean, my question to that is, what do they mean by best deal? Because are they referring to getting the lowest interest rate? Because long term, they want to pay the lowest amount for the house that they can. Or are they talking about the best deal up front? When I walk away from this closing table.
So long term interest rates are going to be a big deal. So you definitely want to stay away from that. I would probably think location, right? Location, where you want to be, all that good stuff.
right? And I was saying that, or is the good deal, are they meaning, do they want to walk away from the closing table without putting a lot of money out up front? Because some people consider that to be the best deal. Location, some people want to be in a really great area and want to get not have to put as much money down, or so it just depends on what they mean by the best deal. But my recommendation is start with a professional. Start with a realtor who has your best interest at heart, meaning that you should start looking and searching around for realtors way in advance so you can feel out who you want, because people can only fake the funk for so long. So eventually you're going to be able to discern and decipher who's actually for you. And so once you get a good realtor, someone professional who studied this, who's in the industry, who knows what you don't know, who can see what you can't see,
Gotcha.
because realtors
Yeah, who knows their way around the block, guys? I mean,
exactly,
that's what you want. Someone
exactly,
who's going to go to work for you.
exactly,
They work for you.
right.
So get a realtor that knows their stuff. That's what it
Mhm.
really comes down to. I
Right,
was told that if you get a realtor that doesn't give you comps on other properties
right.
when they're actually trying to find a deal for you, they're probably not doing the homework. Am I
Right.
right?
Right. That's actually a great point. One of the things that I go over with my clients once we decide where they want to be and once they've gotten pre-approved so we can see what they can afford, then
Right.
I'm like, okay, let's look at what other homes have recently sold for in this area, so that when we do find a house that we like, number one, we can see if it's accurately priced, and number two, we can decide how we're going to put in our offer. I'm not a realtor who automatically says, let's lowball, send them a lowball offer, because sometimes the price is already where it needs to be. And if we're in a seller's market like we're in right now, we're not
Right.
wasting contracts on lowballing these sellers who aren't going to take us seriously.
Yeah,
So,
they're not going to take the deal,
right, exactly,
which means that you're going to lose the house offer more than
exactly,
likely. So um, sometimes overbidding, I guess is what it's called, right? When
exactly,
you overbid a little bit,
right,
is not a bad thing,
right,
dependent upon your pre-approval, of
hmm,
course.
right.
So I would probably say finding the best deal also comes with you getting pre-approved first. Am I right?
Exactly. Yes, absolutely get pre-approved first. I personally don't go on any tours until we've gotten pre-approved, because otherwise, what are we looking for? We're just looking just to have fun and just go look. If we're looking in a neighborhood where you might not be able to afford that neighborhood, then we're just looking just to look. So get that piece of paper to tell us this is how much you can afford, and then we'll go make our search match the pre-qualification, match the pre-approval.
Exactly. Exactly.
Also, emotions. A lot of emotions come out when you're looking
Uh,
for homes. I mean, because this is where you lay your head. This is where you turn the heat on and you get cozy in the winter. And after a long day, you're able to relax with the family. This is the biggest investment of your life. So emotions get
yeah,
involved.
guys,
So
emotions is definitely something that goes into. It's an emotional process. I mean, it's a huge investment. It's not like buying a car or anything. Literally,
right,
when you're buying a house, we're talking hundreds of thousands of dollars that maybe you didn't have underneath your mattress here. So you're gonna have to get financed for stuff like that. It's a big deal. So you definitely want to be ready for that emotional roller coaster that is coming your way, because
exactly.
it is such. There's a
Mhm,
lot of anticipation. From the time in which you sign a contract to they accept the deal, to the
mhm,
point in which you get through underwriting, then you
mhm.
got to go through closing. So all these different emotions are going to be going through. That is why it is so important for you to have your credit straight before you get there.
Absolutely.
Because if you want less headache, then you need to come to Credit Smash first and
Right.
get your credit right first. Okay, that's what you need to do. Once you
Right.
get your credit right, I'm going to send you over to Katie. Katie's going to get you approved. Katie's going to then send it to Ashley.
Mhm.
That's how it works. That's how it should work.
Right.
Ultimately, that process can be a smooth transition. And a lot of times people get bent out of shape because, like you said earlier, they're coming to you, Ashley, first, and
Mhm.
then they're getting disappointed. And with disappointment comes frustration. And then with frustration comes the possibility of I give up.
Changing your mind.
That's what happens. Yeah, a lot of times. So yeah, definitely your emotions. I can't say you got to take them off the table because it is an emotional thing to buy a house, to buy a home. So you're gonna have them, but you definitely want to be prepared. That is for sure.
Exactly.
Okay. Um. All right. Listen. Last question for the night. Let's see. So someone actually had a question with regards to furlough on the job, right? In terms of should she wait because she's been furloughed with her job, or can she still apply for a house even with the furlough? Katie?
Yeah, so you really are going to want to wait, in all truth. They are taking these furloughs very seriously, the lenders are. So, with no promise of a return date, you have no promise of income. So,
Mm,
yeah, I would go ahead, if you can, go ahead and wait until you are back in work, or if you happen to find another position out there that
gotcha.
you want to go for it.
So if you're on furlough, you're on a layoff or whatever temporary layoff, you might want to just save your money, right? Save your cash and wait
Yeah,
a
Right.
while
go ahead
before
and
you actually
start.
go in and start to make that investment because
Mhm.
the banks look at it as a high risk, quite frankly.
Yeah.
And I can tell you firsthand that because of the COVID right now, yeah, it's great that it's a buyer's market or a seller's market or a seller's market, right? It's a
Mhm.
seller's market. And yeah, there are buyers out there. However, the banks are really risque. So credit scores, let's talk about it really quick. I know that with FHA, what do you need, Katie, with FHA?
So for minimum down payment on an FHA, you're going to be looking at a 580 plus. If you go down to a 500, you can get by with the 10%, but you have to be able to pass through our underwriting system to be able to do that. So very few and far between that could get through there.
Right. And for conventional loans, we didn't talk about that tonight, but a conventional loan, other than a FHA, conventional loans, you have to have at least a 620 credit score minimum
Yeah.
for that. And virtually, if you want one of those 2.9% interest rates, your credit score probably needs to be upwards north of what, 670, 680,
Right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
somewhere in
6
there.
and higher, right, Katie?
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. The higher your credit score, the better your interest rating.
Correct.
better your interest rate.
Coincides. So.
Mhm.
Absolutely. So, what are we talking about, guys? We're talking about credit scores need to be upwards north of 670. You're
Mhm.
talking about down payment. You need to have at least anywhere from 3 to 5%
Mhm.
ready to go
Mhm.
and saving your money during this time. And then you're talking about your debt to income ratio needs to be below probably if it's an FHA, you could go as high as 43%. But
Mhm.
if it's conventional, then what is it, 30%, right? Something like that?
Actually, you can go a little bit higher on both of those. FHAs, I'm seeing up 47, 48% at times. You don't want to push it. That's
Right.
going back to that pre-qualification thing. But
Ooh, I didn't
you
know
can
that.
absolutely
Okay.
get up there with
Oh,
those.
so the guidelines have changed, guys. Listen to
Yeah,
this.
yeah,
The
guidelines
guidelines
are
has changed on the FHA on the debt to income ratio. So
Mhm.
here's some
and
knowledge here. Hang on. And our streaming, bam, there we go.
And conventional, yeah, I'm seeing conventionals up 43, 44%. So, I mean, you definitely, there is some wiggle room there, but again, get pre qualified. I can't
Right.
stress this enough. You have to do that to be able to see exactly what your individual situation looks like.
Gotcha,
And
gotcha.
to Brady's point, just kind of wanting to reiterate, get a good realtor.
Absolutely.
Because you're me personally, I always tell my clients to stay in the safe space. I never tell them to come to the table with a minimum credit score of 580 because I know they're not going to get a great deal at that rate. I want my clients to leave educated, and
Mhm.
this is an investment. I want my clients to feel good about the
Gotcha.
investment, be
Yeah,
educated.
so 580 gets you in the door, but it ain't gonna get you much.
Exactly.
Right.
So
Right. So you want to have your credit score upwards as high as you possibly can. That's where I can help you, because we do all sorts of things to help out people when it comes to their credit and boosting your scores. So, to give that seasonality on your credit report, and if you're in the fives and you need to get to the sixes and you need to get higher, then that's why you need to come to a specialist that can help you to get your scores boosted.
Right.
All right, guys. So that is some excellent, excellent information. Listen, I think we're going to end it for tonight. We've been on for quite some time, so thank you guys for trudging through with me on the first live cast here. Thank you, ladies, for being soldiers here. Okay, looks like we got some more people that are just chiming in saying that they agreed with you guys, your comments and your advice. So I think we got some good feedback tonight. Awesome.
For sure. Thanks for
Absolutely.
I want to close with you guys.
Can I plug myself in, Damien?
Absolutely, go for it.
So you can find me on Instagram at Ashley the Foodie Realtor. I'm a foodie. That's something else that I'm passionate about. So
Actually, just break out. You gotta have to do it again, Ashley.
No worries. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
On Instagram, you can find me at Ashley the Foodie Realtor.
Right, and go.
On Instagram, you can find me at Ashley the Foodie Realtor. At every closing, I either cook for my clients or take them out to eat poolside.
What?
Yes. I told you. I
What? No, you did not tell me that. What?
It was lit.
You taking them out to dinner?
What? I'm cooking. You choose.
Or you cook?
You can
Wow.
give me a call at 843-817-5341 or email me at ashleygetsyoухome@gmail.com.
All right, Ashley. Nice. Okay, so I want to scroll that across the stream here.
Yeah, I'll put it in the comments as well.
Yeah.
Put in your comments. Okay, Katie, what about you? Plug yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. So, as I mentioned, I work for Atlantic Financial Services. We service North Carolina, South Carolina, New Jersey, and Florida. However, if you are in a state that is not one of those states, you can go to www.findamortgagebroker.com and you can find an independent mortgage broker in your local area.
Find a mortgage broker, guys. Okay, listen in. All right, it's coming right back in. It's going to time back in. So hang on. Technology, man. Okay. All right, repeat that one more time, Katie.
Yeah, so as I mentioned, I work for Atlantic Financial Services. We're in North Carolina, South Carolina, New Jersey, and Florida. If you are not in one of those states, go to findamortgagebroker.com and you will find an independent mortgage broker in your local area. These are folks that are your next door neighbors. They do not work for the big banks. They're not working to fit you into their loan products. They're looking to find a loan product to fit you. So it is a huge thing. It's someone who's in your corner. We do the exact same thing that your local bank does. We just do it better, if you want to know.
Nice.
Yep. So I will also put in my contact information in the comments. But if you have a pen and pencil, feel free to write it down. My number is 704-305-1188. Or you can email me at Katie, K-A-T-I-E, C as in cat, at atlanticloans.com.
I'm going to run that here. Hang on.
Okay.
Guys, bear with me.
You're good. I will go ahead. And you can also find me on Facebook, Katie Chapman MLO. You'll find my NMLS number beside it, 1740675.
Okay.
Or you can find me on Instagram. I'm on all the platforms. So reach out to me. I'll be more than happy to answer any questions you have. There's no charge for that. I'd love to help people. That's what I'm here for.
Yeah.
So
Sweet.
I'll do what I can for you, and we'll get it taken care of. We'll get you in
get you home.
Too awful long with Damien's Diamond Legacy program. He's got that 12 to 24 month time period. So reach out to Ashley, to your local people, because we're the ones that are here for you in the end.
Absolutely.
No doubt. Awesome stuff, ladies. I appreciate you. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
I would
David.
definitely run this again. This is going to be a recording. So I'm glad we were just able to just mow through it. We'll definitely be rebroadcasting this again for those folks that might have missed. And don't worry, if you missed it tonight, don't worry. I'm going to rebroadcast it again live on Facebook and YouTube as well. So listen, before I go, I just want to let you guys know that you all are winners out there. You're champions. Don't believe anything otherwise. Okay. Create a plan, get an action plan. And if you don't go with us, go with somebody that's going to be in your corner at the end of the day, right? We're here to help. And 2020 is over with. Okay. Forget about it. Now we're going into 2021. Let's get motivated. Let's get educated and let's do it. Right. All right. So thank you, ladies, for tonight. You've been awesome. I appreciate you very much. Thank you. You all beautiful. And I love you. All right. You guys have an awesome day. Thank you guys for anyone for tuning in. All right. And this is it for tonight. Tune in for tomorrow, 7 p.m. We'll do it again. Have a good night. Take care.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.